What's up, fight fans? Mainman Mademan here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. What up to the fam? What up to everybody in Mainman Mademan's boxing form? Hey, look, the thing is this, man. So I just got finished listening to the press conference that went down between Tum Tszyu and Tony Harrison. We know that they're going to be fighting sometime soon. It's going to be happening in Australia, fight fans. And this was a good press conference, man. You know, I got the chance to see the mindset of both of these fighters. And it looked like both of these dudes are ready to go, man. Both of these dudes are locked in. And I can't wait to see what kind of fight that we're going to get more than likely, you know. Now, the thing is, fight fans, is that this fight is being kind of going the way I kind of thought it would. And it does come down to the words of skill versus toughness in the end. Because Tony Harrison does not see Tum Tszyu as a more skilled fighter. You know what I mean? He sees Tum Tszyu as a tough fighter. And he gives him full credit for being a tough guy. And according to Tony Harrison, when they asked him about Tum Tszyu's skills, he says, and I quote, "What part of skill are you impressed with?" You know what I mean? End quote. He also goes on and says that Tim is a tough guy. And I take nothing away from him being tough. Tim is literally top of the line of the top of the food chain when it comes to toughness. End quote. So he's giving Tum Tszyu a lot of credit about his toughness, which that can honestly be the Achilles heel to Tony Harrison, to be honest with you. But he gives Tum Tszyu a lot of credit for his toughness. Now, that toughness, man, I'm going to tell you something, fight fans. Tony Harrison is a real skilled fighter. Got a lot of finesse about him. I'm even leaning towards him for the win. But at the end of the day, Tony Harrison also has another problem, and that's being a fader. That's just the reputation that he has around the sport of boxing. For 5 to 6 rounds, Tony Harrison is almost untouchable. Good jab, good movement, good upper body movement, great reflexes, good counter puncher. He's a damn near perfect fighter for the first 5, 6 rounds. The problem with Tony Harrison is that the second half of the fight never traditionally looks like the first half of the fight. And see, that's where Tum Tszyu's toughness may come into play at. Because if Tum Tszyu doesn't have any sort of stamina issues going down the stretch, and he's just as tough in the second half of that fight than he is in the first half of that fight, then Tony Harrison would have a problem. Now, Tony Harrison, like I said, he doesn't, even the caliber of Tum Tszyu, I don't think he sees him that impressive. It's just, he sees Tum Tszyu more so as the money guy. Now, we know that Australia, y'all back Tum Tszyu to the fullest, mainly because he shares the last name Tszyu. And so, you know, with that name right there, his father being Costa Tszyu, the money of Australia is lined up behind Tum Tszyu. Not to mention Tum Tszyu dethroned Jeff Horn, the last big name fighter, aside from George Kambosos, that's really came out of Australia. And according to Tony Harrison, he says, and I quote, "Tim to me just hasn't accomplished or fought anybody or done anything They just put the money up and put him right there. But he is definitely a tough fighter," end quote. So he just sees Tum Tszyu as a guy that doesn't have any skills. He has the money of his country. He's a very, very tough guy. And you also got to throw in the fact that he's young. And Tony Harrison, just like I said before, you can't make small talk of that, because that toughness is your Achilles heel. That may be the thing that beats you. It's very, very possible. You know what I mean? According to Tony Harrison, he says about Tum Tszyu, "He took the elevator and I took the stairs. How did he get there?" End quote. So he's saying that basically he had one leg up. He had one leg up on a lot of other fighters, mainly because of his last name. So you got to wonder, does Tony Harrison all together just see Tum Tszyu as some sort of hype job, fight fans? Someone that's been puffed up and getting an extra leg up from his country and all of these things. If that is the case, then Tony Harrison got to have it on his mind that I'm going into Australia and things could go left in Australia on those judges' scorecards, if you get my drift. You got to be wondering, is he thinking in that fashion, fight fans? I remember when Devin Haney went over there to face George Kambosos, that was one of the main themes of that. Devin Haney need to keep his third eye open and watch out for being robbed in Australia. I remember what happened with Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn, where a lot of the Pacquiao fans still believe to this day that Pacquiao was robbed down there in Australia against Jeff Horn. So at the end of the day, I mean, does Tony Harrison has anything to worry about? And even from himself admitting that they are putting the money up and it's the name and he took the elevator and like they gave him one leg up, is the threat of corruption or robbery possible, fight fans? This is going to be an interesting fight, man. Like I said before, fight fans, I'm leaning Tony Harrison. I'm going to bet on the skills. I'm hoping and believing that Tony Harrison can rack up 7 to 8 rounds in the bank against Tum Tszyu. The question is, can Tony Harrison make it to that final bell without being grinded to a halt? That's the big question, fight fans. We'll see, man. Interested in this fight big time, man. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Share. Rock the bells, fight fans. We'll catch up with y'all real soon on the live stream, man. We'll talk about this and amongst other boxing topics all day. To the next video, champs. Peace out.